The full game of No, I'm Not a Human is finally here, and with it, 10 endings. Some are brutal, some are surreal. In this video, we'll explore every ending, what happens, how to get them, and what they mean for our protagonist. And by the end, I'll share which one I believe is truly the best. But first, a quick overview of the game. Bursts of radiation from the sun have made daylight deadly. People knock on your doors at night. Some are human, desperate for shelter. Others are visitors looking to murder. And in this world, every choice you make, what you say, who you trust, who you keep alive, and who you kill can change the ending. Let's go over each one. First up, the Pale Man ending. One of the main antagonists of the story is the Pale Man, the super visitor, described in broadcasts and by people as a pale, middle-aged man with black hair, slender build, and wearing only pants, his skin sagging as if it wasn't his own. He grins with glowing, perfect white teeth. This creature is dangerous, murdering an entire patrol of soldiers. On nights 3, 5, 11, and sometimes night 9, he knocks on your door. He asks you, with his disturbing smile, "Are you alone?" If you answer yes, he knocks down your door and kills you, even if it wasn't true. If you answer no, you're safe. But by night 11, the rules change. If the only ones in your house are visitors, he sees through the lie and breaks the door down anyway. He strangles the protagonist, leaving the house empty, abandoned, and rotting over time. The message is clear: the house survives longer than you do. This ending works as punishment for isolation. The Pale Man doesn't just represent a monster. Some may interpret that he is the embodiment of loneliness itself. You can't survive by shutting yourself off from the world. Next up are the endings where you make it to the end. The protagonist is woken up by breaking news yet again. This time, the ministry has been taken over by visitors, and thus FEMA now has control over the city. At this stage, they tell you to barricade your windows, and in the next day, you do. You take shelter in your basement, bringing all your guests along. You seal the door, protecting yourselves from the outside world. All you have left is a month of food rations and the company of which you let inside your home. Two different outcomes can unfold here. If visitors are in the basement, the silence grows unbearable. Paranoia takes hold, and before long, they tear you apart. But if the basement holds only humans, or it's just you, you last for 2 months. One day, a radio announcement breaks through the static. The sun has calmed. Daylight is safe again. You've survived. Players often call this the good ending, but the game never names it that way. The protagonist doesn't feel relief, only disappointment. He realizes he may live another year, maybe another decade, and yet life feels hollow. This ending suggests that bare survival without belonging or purpose can be as crushing as death itself. Next is the murderer ending, the path where the protagonist tries to seize control, but in doing so, kills too many humans. This happens if you turn your suspicion into action, shooting humans out of fear until you've crossed the line. Eventually, the Egghead Man appears. He tells you he's had a vision. Something strange, something wrong has taken place inside your home. You're too scared, too blinded by fear, and now there's no stopping what's coming. Hands reach out from under the basement. They claw at the windows. The protagonist raises the gun and whispers, "No more," turns it on himself. But the survivors drag him outside. They kick him, spitting rage, accusing him of being no better than the visitors, no better than FEMA. And then they abandon him in the street to burn as the sun rises. It's the clearest warning in the game. Fear doesn't just kill relationships, it makes you the very monster you're trying to fight. But what if this murderer ending doesn't come from your own fear, but from someone else at your door? Next is the vigilante ending, where the John Wick-looking soldier tries to regain peace in his city through the means of violence. You catch glimpses of him through your windows. One night, lining up the survivors at the neighbor's house. Another night, carrying a Molotov cocktail, ready to burn what he claims are the visitor-infested houses. He is the neighbor's brother and is the complete opposite of him. The neighbor, being too nice, ends up being killed by visitors. John Wick kills people if they show even one sign of being a visitor. He is the complete opposite of nice. Arguably the scariest character in this game, he knocks on your door on night 8, 10, and 12. On night 10 and 12, he asks you to show him a sign to prove you're not a visitor. If you select teeth, you're doomed, unless you have smoked cigarettes beforehand. If you select eyes, you're okay, unless you've had coffee or energeca. If you select hands, you're okay, unless you've dug in the basement and haven't washed yourself in the bathroom. If you select armpits, you're okay, but only if you clean up in the sink. If you select ears, you're dead. That sign was never officially broadcasted by FEMA. It was planted by a visitor hijacking the TV broadcast. Side note, one of the characters does prove this sign is correct. If you select photo, you're okay. Choose wrong and everything collapses into a standoff. Then gunfire. Both of you bleed out, but you keep hitting him long after he's dead. The game cuts, with you promising to keep killing anyone holding a weapon. The vigilante isn't scary because he's armed. He's scary because if you make one wrong move, then you're dead. This ending shows how the thirst for certainty, the need to prove who's human and who isn't, only shows and breeds more violence. Next is the mushroom ending, a strange one and it's reliant on luck. To reach this path, you need to let in the cat lady, as the cat will unlock the basement. By luck, meet the old man who talks about the Book of Smiles in the Mushroom Festival. Accept the page, read it, then go to the basement and pick up the mushroom that appears and eat it from the fridge. The next day, an apple appears beside Toto. Eat it. The next day, interact with the clock above your bed at night. Then you wait for the old man to return and accept his invitation to Mushroom Land. You travel together into Mushroom Land to stop the mycelium before the bloom, but the mushroom seems to take shape from thin air, causing earthquakes across the city. It's too late. This might seem like a joke ending, a detour into absurdity, but it plays like delusion. It's an escape from the catastrophe that's going on. Maybe it is a nod to the Polish web series Raina Shibów TV. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. It's known for its surreal, creepy mushroom imagery and distorted sound design. If the other paths are about survival or belonging, the mushroom ending is denial of what's around you. This ending is again a strange one, arguably the strangest one. It's reliant on luck once again. A seductive woman may appear at your doorstep. She offers connection, comfort, and if you accept, she moves in. Over the next 4 days, her body contorts unnaturally and her belly swells. Until the 4th day, her belly explodes, killing her. Interact with the curtain, then find the baby in the office, then the bathroom. Then in the first window, you will see the baby feeding on dog's milk. Answering the door will trigger the ending. You see people in cloaks whispering. The child is carried by the 3 men. The men yank it in opposite directions. Fed up with this, you shoot your gun in a random direction. Then, angelic figures fill the sky, led by a cloaked woman in white. She declares you're the prophet, chosen to cleanse the earth. Salvation comes at a cost. You're carried away and you're crucified as their savior. The child ending isn't just random surrealism. It mirrors biblical apocalypses. The seductive woman promises intimacy, but delivers horror. The child isn't nurtured, it's fought over, turned into a symbol. The false angels, they crown the protagonist as a prophet, but it's false. It's a false messiah role. Because of the chaos brought by the sun and the visitors, new beliefs start to spread. People begin to worship a deity they call death, a movement so widespread that even the official broadcasts report it as a threat. On night 8, a cult leader arrives at your door, forcefully placing 3 of his followers inside your home. Side note, you are lucky that these cultists are always human. On night 10, he returns, asking if his flock is still alive. On night 11, you spot them in your backyard preparing firewood for some kind of ritual. The cult leader comes one last time to check on the cultists. If all 3 of them survive until this point, the leader offers you a choice: stay and defend your home or join them supporting death. If you accept, the cultist ending begins. The screen cuts to a graveyard of lights, where each cultist is remembered by name. Your body burns, lying on your carpet. The cult promises that every sacrifice has meaning, but it's still annihilation. The cult doesn't save you, it only convinces you walk into death willingly. This is one of the most involved endings in the game, and it begins with Egghead and his strange visions. He appears at your door multiple times, each visit urging you towards something you don't fully understand. If you follow his instructions, let in the cat lady so her cat unlocks the basement. When he appears again, ignore visitor tests for 2 days, and when he returns again, dig deeper into the basement, spending your energy. I believe 7 energy is needed to complete this quest. You uncover a secret tunnel system beneath your house. Finally, Egghead comes one last time looking frail and tells you to jump into the hole. The protagonist obeys without hesitation. He leaps into the darkness and he sees a light. A figure, it's death. It speaks to you, then delivers you to a lone house in the middle of nowhere. It's serene, empty, but familiar, exactly what you wished for. And so the protagonist lies down and rests, alone forever. At first glance, it plays like a peaceful ending. The protagonist finally has the quiet life he longed for, a reflection of the hermit he was, and the isolation he carried from his father's abuse. It even mirrors the loneliness and isolation poster on his wall. But look closer. In the game's official release trailer, we see the truth. The protagonist doesn't leap into a mystical hole, he hangs himself in the basement. The tunnels, the lake, the house in the field, all of it is fantasy, a final comfort before death. It's unalivement disguised as peace. FEMA is the government agency organized to respond to the catastrophe. Broadcasts hail them as saviors, promising that if everyone cooperates, life will return to normal. But the survivors tell a different story. They say the quarantine zones are slaughterhouses, death camps in disguise. On nights 4, 5, 8, and 10, FEMA agents arrive at your doorstep. On night 4 and 5, they take 1 guest. Later, they take 2. Their desperation grows with each visit. If you're compliant with the FEMA officers at your doorstep, asking about their protective suit, and asking if you need to pack, then one night a FEMA agent will recruit you. The protagonist hesitates, but ultimately has no choice. He packs a bag and climbs into the van. You're unsure of the situations you will face. Long shifts, many people, the potential dangers of the job. You question their aggressive recruitment methods. You question what you have to live for. What happened to the house and the guests who are staying with you? You question what your new life has in store, but your only regret is not bringing along the poster you had with you. The FEMA ending is what I believe is the best ending for this protagonist. Throughout the game, we see him as a hermit, shut in, scarred by an abusive father, alone in a house he inherited but never chose. The protagonist wanted connection. He wanted to belong. And yet here with FEMA, for the first time, he isn't alone. The poster he regrets leaving behind says it all: loneliness and isolation. With FEMA, that part of his life ends. Doesn't matter if FEMA is good or bad, brutal or merciful, what matters is that he has a family now. He finally belongs. Thanks for watching, guys. For me, it's clear the best ending is the FEMA ending. What do you think? What's the ending that's best for you? Stay tuned to this channel. I'll bring more analysis to this fantastic game. We did it.